Hi, Amy. I've created a sample classroom on Sound to Grow that would translate your practice at an Alpine onto the Sound to Grow platform. And I just created this quick video that you might be able to share with your colleagues as a way to kind of see how some of the features would really complement the work you're already doing. So in the setup here, I took some of the 6 C's from your fifth grade example. And basically, like as you can see here, critical thinking, I've just added a few in terms of creativity, collaboration with the indicators here. So the indicators that you've co-created with all your teachers are going there. And then you can actually have the students do an overview reflection for each of the 6 C's by having this set up here. And I'll show right now how that'll work in the student view. And here in the student view, you can kind of see the students basically have this to-do list where they'd go and mark a score for each of the indicators. And so I know in your system it's never, sometimes, often, always. And in this case, a 2 would be sometimes, a 3 would be often, and a 4 would be always. So the students would mark how they're self-assessing on those things. And then at the end say, okay, overall, how am I doing on critical thinking as a skill? How many greens did I get? So in this case, I have 3 here. I'd say, okay, I have 3 there. And then basically, what are your goals and next steps for this area? This is the reflection piece, which I think is so key, and we've both agreed on, which in this kid could write a reflection like, I've been seeking more feedback from my teachers. Next week, I want to seek feedback from peers to improve critical thinking. Students also have the sample strategies here, which they can kind of pop out. And as we kind of talked about it, we actually just edited some of these critical thinking strategies, creative strategies. These are all evidence-based strategies that the students could reference if they're in the reflection place and they don't know what to write. And so they'd click done. And another key piece which Sound to Grow brings, which I know can be tricky on the Google Forms, is actually giving feedback to students. And so as you see, I'm going to hop back to the teacher view here. And I'm going to go into my Insights page here, and I'll kind of show you what shows up there. This is only a class of 6 students for the sample, but you can see how students are feeling. You see the overall progress on each indicator. This is critical thinking here. And then you can chime in and basically look at some of the details of the students' scores and reflections. And so on this one, you can see here's some of the reflections and the capacity for a teacher to give feedback to those. So that one that I just said, which is a sample, I've been seeking more feedback from teachers. You can write quickly. A custom comment, let's talk, keep going, excellent strategy, whatever else you want to add in there. And that'll automatically be added to the students. And so I'll kind of just show like where, here's another example of where a student on critical thinking over time, this is the snapshot that comes through our data insights, where you have the progress of how they're improving on a particular skill of critical thinking, along with how they're feeling about that each time they're marking progress on it, and also the student reflections with teacher feedback here. So students starting with something like, I need to get better at critical thinking, which specific strategies can you use to improve? Tried to explain my key ideas to friends and it helped. You kind of get a really neat story of how students can improve. One last view I'll show, which both students and teachers see, is here in the summary. And in this view, you get a summary on progress on all the different skills. So they could be doing really well in critical thinking, but kind of struggling in creativity. And so how do you, highlight this so that they can work on those skills? I hope this helps, and I think it can be a great complement for the awesome work you're already doing. And so we look forward to being in touch. Thanks.